What's going on? I just got back from New York a couple days ago. Let's talk about my trip out there. Some comic books I went to. It's some fun stuff. But of course, before we jump into it, drop a like, subscribe to the channel if you aren't already. Ring that little bell. It all, it helps the algorithm, helps you see the videos more. And if you drop a like, more people will see the videos. And drop a comment. Why not? Of course, Instagram, Facebook, whole 9 yards. You know the drill. More of that at the end. But I went up to New York recently on Saturday. A couple buddies of mine over there, Chris and from Panther Comics, a couple other buddies of ours, Paul, and we hit up a couple things. We went to a cool wrestling event, and we had some time to kill. Me and a couple other buddies of mine went to this one Japanese shop that was kind of neat. I didn't pick up anything there, but there was some cool stuff. And then St. Mark's Comics was in there, had lunch there. It was cool. St. Mark's Comics it's more like a mall store, if anything. But when in Rome, when you're walking by a comic store, you're going to peek in, and I actually found something I didn't know existed, which sometimes is tough when it comes to this era of Star Wars. But Ewoks, Battle for Endor, and Carnival of Courage VHS tapes released in 1990. I didn't know they did official releases for these, and I don't know. I was really shocked when I saw these. I didn't think these actually exist. I know that there isn't any official releases for the holiday special, which is one of my favorite movies of all time, is how ridiculous it is. But the Ewok movies, they're great. They're fun. I mean, they're terrible, but they're fun. I like them. I enjoy them for what they are. But then we had some time to kill before our two other buddies had made it there. And so I do the same thing I do all the time. I Googled comic store near me. Well, what comes up is, I think it was Kosh's warehouse, Kosh's comic book warehouse. So we put in the address. It's an 8-minute walk. Start walking, almost fly away in the wind. It was fairly windy outside. And when we get there, that's what the outside looks like. No sign that says, hey, it's a comic book store near, no nothing. But we looked at the address. The address is on the door, and on the door is also a horror movie poster. I think it was like Halloween 2 and something else. And I was like, this has got to be it. So we open up the door, and immediately it's got that, warehouse smell just hits you in the face. And one of my buddies like, it smells like gasoline. I'm like, no, it smells like a grinder. And walk up the stairs, turn the corner, there's a guy just grinding away at something. What it was, I have no idea. But we keep on going. Somebody's yelling in the background of the warehouse all the way back in a different part of it, I think. But there's little paper signs on the wall. It says warehouse, sometimes spelled like it's a werewolf. And arrows pointing different directions. So it feels like a maze going up, but when you go out, you realize how kind of straightforward it is. But as we follow the paper, there's also more horror movie posters, so it's kind of a little reassuring that this is the right place. And you turn the corner, and it's just boxes galore. Now, I'll throw up a couple of videos here that I took and photos. The boxes are nuts. I've been to Mile High Comics out in Denver, Colorado, and they have a lot of books out for sale. Obviously, Chuck Rosansky probably has more books that he owns, but I think this store might have more books out for sale. Might. I didn't count the boxes. I didn't count the boxes when I was at Mile High, and maybe Mile High's moved some stuff around since I was there, but there was a lot of stuff. I mean, the racking just went to damn near to the ceiling, and just 7-8 feet of boxes up, and it was nuts. It was nuts. There's no way you can go through it all, especially, I'm glad I didn't drive into Brooklyn, but that would be the one show going back there, especially if you're going by yourself. If you don't want to take the Greyhound and the train in. And an Uber is quite expensive, at least from where I am, to Brooklyn. So it's probably a bit of pain to run back there again. But it's definitely going to take multiple trips to even put a dent in that place. I mean, I went through a lot of boxes. My fingers turned black going through boxes because they're all covered in dust, as you can kind of expect. But there was some cool stuff in there. I found a couple treasures. There was a lot of dollar books. They don't really have a wall section. So if you're going there and you're looking for high grade silver and nice gold books, big books, probably not going to find them there. At least I didn't. Not speaking that they don't have them. Just saying that I didn't see them there. Realistically. But I did find some stuff I was pretty happy with picking up. So we'll start out with the dollar bin pickups. Now, the one thing is how they set it up is there's lots of dollar bins. There's an area of like new dollar stuff. There's an area of semi-new dollar stuff, and there was also some adult magazines that I picked up for a buddy of mine, and then I've already been ravished. Uh, and yeah, and then there's the section where everything, a lot of stuff wasn't bagged and boarded in this other section where it's the price stuff, where you kind of have to bring it up to the counter, and they'll kind of give you a price there. The one guy who'll look it up, you bring it to the other guy who'll just kind of off the top give you an idea of what the price is. And if you're buying multiple stuff, he'll bundle it with you, which was much appreciated. So I got a pretty good bundle deal on my price stuff. But these were the dollar bin finds. We got Star Slayer #1, the log of the Jolly Roger. Great first appearance issue right there for Star Slayer. I always pick these up when I see them really cheap. They had a whole long box, or at least the short box, of Crow, the Flesh and Blood #2. Could have got multiple of them. I just got one, because, I mean, I don't need too many of them. I should have got a second one, but I know where to find more. That's for sure. Then we got Swamp Thing 101. Just the late Swamp Thing issue. Great cover. I was really hoping I was going to find that Nazi cover in there with the swastika, that like classic Swamp Thing cover from that era. That's really tough. But that I didn't see it, at least. But again, there were so many boxes. It very well could be. And it's definitely a thing I think a store like that might overlook and land in their dollar bins possibly. And look, for once I actually bagged boarded everything for the video. Look at that. Mortal Iron Fist #8. I say this probably needs a press. I didn't notice that. This definitely could use a press. But for $1, I rolled the dice. Bunch of first appearances in there. Mr. Monster #9 by Eclipse Comics. This is that second volume. Knocking down my Mr. Monster run. Night of the Living Dead London. This is a great one-shot that I'm always keeping an eye out for. I actually almost bought one online a couple months back. Just because I can't find it. I don't want to read it. But here it is. Boom. For $1. That's really what I want to pay on it. And then Johnny Quest, The Real Adventures #1, based off of the 90s relaunch Johnny Quest. Was it 90s or 2000s? It might have been 2000s. When they relaunched Johnny Quest. So that's pretty cool. I just picked up the Johnny Quest comics. And also in the dollar bin was 2 magazines. Sticking with the Crow, we got Crow City Angels, A Diary of the Film. So that's kind of neat. If you on eBay, there's literally one for sale for $1.50. So I'm not saying I got a great deal on it, but for $1, I'll pick it up. And let's see the board. Monster World #6. This awesome cover with Frankenstein's monster in Santa getup. Why not? Very festive. I'll probably dust this one back off in next December. And then before I get into those, the last couple of priced books, I only got a couple books. I didn't go too crazy. Like I said, it was the digging. There was a lot to dig through, but a lot of the price stuff, you didn't really know what the price was going to be. And some of it I put back. I got like there was a stack of ROM 17s in there. I'm like, oh, these are $2 or whatever. I'd grab them. They're $5, which is still a good deal. I already have one. I didn't need extras. It would have been to resell, pretty much. So, but I did pick up because they were only $3 each, because why not? Hero for Hire #10, which is great. I love that dynamic cover. And then we've got #12, where Luke Cage fights Chemistro. Great villain. Actually, one of my favorite Luke Cage villains. Luke Cage, in this era, especially the Hero for Hire era, has a lot of just goofy, fun villains that I think are underloved. They feel kind of like Bronze Age Spider-Man villains, in a way. And then I did pick up, usually I'm not a big foreign guy, but I picked these up because they were cheap enough and they were kind of cool. I got Amazing Tales, Creepy Worlds, #22. This is a 60s issue. Somebody's by the £5. It's got a tear there, but it was only £5. I picked it up for only $5. I figured I'd roll the dice on it. This got a couple of, Suspense, Sinister Tales, Creepy Worlds, Secrets of the Unknown, Uncanny Tales, and Astounding Stories. But it's all pre-code artwork on the inside there, which was kind of cool. Some of the stories are like literally 3 pages long. And then this is the one where I actually kind of wanted to buy them. Amazing Tales 191. Or Amazing Tales Creepy Worlds 191. This is that classic Gorilla Man cover. I actually have this. I think this is an issue of Fear, if I remember correctly. But gorgeous cover. Great, I believe, Jack Kirby artwork on the inside. So that's just pretty cool. Fun issue to pick up. I have the American, the real issue, but for $5. Grab another one. Why not? I grab a foreign edition. And then, and this was in the dollar bit as well. Adventures of Questron, The Choice. This was a New York, seal of Ulster County, state of New York, 1683. Obviously wasn't printed in 1683. But this is like a book printed on newspaper, but it's supposed to be like, it's junk driving. That's what it is. So something neat, something I picked up for $1 at first. So this was actually why I first picked it up. So right where it says Cavalier, graphics, Cavalier. I don't know if you can kind of see that in that bubble there. I saw Cavalier Graphics, and I saw it really quick, and I thought it said Caliber Graphics. I'm like, I wonder if that's like an early Caliber Comics. And I'm like, it's on newspaper. That's kind of cool. So I just grabbed it. But either way, I think I still would have grabbed it for $1 just because it's kind of neat. It's something different. And I couldn't find any information about it doing my research, and I've never seen this before. At least I've never noticed seeing it before, if that makes any sense. But it's probably like an independent, Students Against Drunk Driving giveaway comic. So I'm not pretending like it's going to be worth it. It's just something different, something neat. But to round out the haul from the warehouse, I was going through boxes, and they have long boxes, and there's 3 sets of all the same issue, and they're magazines, and they're these Hammer horror magazines. And I'm like, I've never seen so many of these in one place. And I'm going through, and there's like one of the racks from like my head level up was on the side was all those long boxes of Hammer magazines, and I'm like, whoa. So I asked them, it was in the price section. I asked them, how much are they? And they had one price, and we talked about it, and I was like, if I buy a bunch of stuff, yeah, we can work with you. Actually, my buddy kind of helped me middleman the deal a little bit, and they pulled out a pack that had all the issues that were there, and then they pulled out a separate issue and said, this is the rare one. This is like a $45 book. I'm like, in my head, I'm like, man, I'm not even gonna be close to their price on these. Well, they ended up doing the whole stack for $22, and I think there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 books. So I'm not mad at that at all. I'd do that all day. In fact, if I go back, would I buy a second stack? Maybe, just because they're cool. So I'll do the rare one last. But this one, it might be my favorite cover. The House of Hammer, number 13, Plague of Zombies. Now, look at that cover. That's awesome. This movie, it's a bit slow, but I like it. I actually reviewed this one years back on Facebook, I believe. I don't think that was when I was doing YouTube yet. I think that was when I was doing the October reviews on Facebook. But that cover's gorgeous. And so is this Curse of the Werewolf, issue number 10. So I got to figure out how many issues did this go and how many issues do I need now. Sadly, they didn't have the full run. If they had the full run, that would have been awesome. I'll be at number 9. The Creepy Unknown. Stalks London, Man Monster, or See the Quartermass Experiment. Now monthly by popular demand. This was bi-monthly at some point, and it's got that great Quartermass 1 and 2 posters on the back there. Then we got number 21. So this went longer than I thought it did. Halls of Horror. So I guess this is Hammer's Halls of Horror. Yes, this is probably the same series, but they just switched up the title. We got Lee Karloff and the Werewolf. Shandor, Demon Stalker, told in comics, The Brides of Dracula. Extra behind the scenes of Warlords of the Deep. Now, the thing with this book also is not only does it show stills of primarily Hammer movies, but there's also like King Kong and stuff like that in there. There's little like, I don't know if it's interviews. I still have to read them. Or I don't know if it's like overviews of the movie or something like that, or it's reviews or whatever it may be. But also there's original comic stories in here. What's the guy's name? Shandor. Shandor, I think, is in all the issues. I saw him in at least a couple of them, and he's awesome. The artwork in there's gorgeous. The line work, the pen and ink is just, it's chef's kiss. And they're drawing like demons and monsters, and it all looks great. It feels very much like Marvel, like horror mags that they did back in the 70s that were just spot on artwork. And it's got this great New Gamus. It's a Japanese horror film I've never heard of. I assume Japanese. We got issue number 14 with John Carradine interview. New Wake of Carrie, Ruby. I assume Ruby's like a knockoff Carrie movie. Dinosaur movies. George Romero on Martin, his new vampire film. Rachel Welch on 1 Million Years BC. Alright, so I guess the full film told in comics. So I guess there's a comic book adaptation, and there's also interviews in here as well. So I guess it is kind of a little bit of everything, probably. And then I got this gorgeous double poster on the back there for 1 million years BC and She. So that's pretty cool. Then we've got number 22. We're getting later. Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, Phantom of the Opera, Karloff in The Sorceress, The Mummy, the full film told in comics. It's another comic book adaptation there. And on the back is the Terror of the Tongs. Probably not a PC kind of title. But it's got Christopher Lee. That's cool. Reminds me of was it Karloff that did the Hands of Fu Manchu? Was it Karloff or was that no, that might have been Lon Chaney. I can't remember. That's a movie that people don't look upon very kindly. Then we have House of Hammer, number 1. Dracula, an illustrated adaptation of the 1958 Hammer classic, biography and complete filmography of Christopher Lee. That's pretty cool. Horror Around the World, Van Helsing's Terror Tales, plus lots more from the world's top artists and writers. It's pretty high praise. So that's pretty cool. I actually want to get clear boards for these, but I don't know if they make them for the magazines, just because I love the posters on the back. And then this was apparently the expensive issue. Now it's not in spectacular condition, but it's there. But again, that's why I only paid $22 for the 8 of them. But I'm not mad at that price at all. It's number 8, Christopher Lee's new Dracula film, See Inside, trapped in a savage fight to the death against the hordes of hell. See, Shandor and Demon Stalker are exciting new comic strip plus, so this must be first Shandor. The Quartermaster Experiment, the classic horror film told in comics, plus King Kong, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, Hammer science fiction, plus lots more from the world's top artists and writers. A lot of pluses there. So that's Shandor on the cover, and maybe this is his first appearance, and maybe that's why this is, as they claim, the more expensive issue. Because I don't remember seeing Shandor, actually, now that I think about it, on any of the earlier issues. I just only have one earlier issue, just number 1. So, I flipped through all these the other day, but I didn't get a chance to sit down and read them. But those are pretty cool. I'm kind of hooked on the whole Shandor thing, and I'm hooked on this magazine now. So my one of my new goals is going to be finishing out that run that I didn't really know was much of a run. I didn't know there's that many of these. So, super exciting stuff. Definitely a place I'd like to go back to and do some more digging. I'm sure there's a lot more treasures to be upheld and unearthed. There's other guys in there that I've been digging as well, and like I said, I'm sure there's treasures to be found there, especially as they buy new collections and stuff like this. Probably good if you're in the Brooklyn area. It's probably a good spot to check out at least. If you're ever rolling around in the Brooklyn area, it's probably worth just poking your head in and see what's going on. It's a cool place. I definitely highly recommend checking it out. But if you don't already follow me here, ring the bell, click the subscription button, drop that like, drop a comment. What book did you pick up recently? What have you been to this store? Let me know down below. And follow me here on Facebook and Instagram for more daily content. I buy stuff all the time. I buy collections, I buy comics, I buy every day, pretty much. This is what it feels like. So, but follow me on Instagram and Facebook for more daily content. I do a series called Tales from a Hunt where I go and talk about hunting for these books and stuff I found, stuff I didn't buy, people I read into, stories I have, fun stuff like that. And then follow the Facebook group Fandoms Unleashed for more behind-the-scenes look at comics, great discussions in there every day, lots of posts and talks about comics and movies and toys and everything within the realm of fandoms. So all that's linked down in the description. Until next time, peace.